Hello and welcome back to Podcasting as Practice for yet another episode in which I am David and my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Rob, mine he and him.
And I'm Alistair, my pronouns are also he and him.
I
Almost
just made
there,
it through there without having Jamie prop me into it. So, I'd like to pat myself on the back and say, good boy, Robert.
Yeah, didn't have to stamp on your foot while saying, good evening, Mr. Anderson.
I think he's podcasting to you.
Now, I am podcasting to you, the listener, you individually. But even more so to what I would call our Patreon subscribers at patreon.com/PracticeCast.
Fucking hell.
Fortunately, this Chuckle Brothers episode was cut in the main syndication, so...
Right, please, the nuggets.
We have a delicious first nugget. Because, you know the courts, those things that, the sort of the backbone of Western democracy, if you like. You know how hideously backlogged they are, tens of thousands of cases, like nearly 100,000. Not enough criminal barristers because the pay's shit, courts in disrepair, jails, prisons full to bursting, all that stuff.
Yeah, things we talked about literally 3 years ago now on, the second Praxis chat, that thing that has really continued.
Still bad.
Yeah.
Well, David Lammy has one weird trick to clear that backlog, and lawyers hate him.
Is it fund everything?
12 men are angry with him.
1 to 12 men will be angry with him at some point in time.
12 men are angry at him. You won't believe what happens.
You won't believe what happens next. Prosecuted in The Hague for war crimes.
Oh, if only.
Yeah, if only. No, it's no juries. No juries for crimes with up to a 3-year custodial sentence. This was revised down from 5 years that was being floated a few days ago. Seems like the 5-year figure was a trial balloon to see what level of backlash then they were going to get, and then promptly decided to ignore that and just fucking still go ahead with the idea anyway, but with 3 years instead of 5.
Oh, so they've made the idea more shit, but yeah, okay, yeah. Oh,
well, it's still.
I hate that the one thing that this government learned from all of the years of the Tories, especially the latter ones, was the just fucking leak it and see what everyone thinks, and then make up your mind on what you're doing. Like, one weird trick to not have to pay for a focus group.
Yeah, and also, if nothing else, it makes podcasting really fucking annoying because you can never work out when something is actually going to be a thing and when it's just some bullshit that's being rolled out the door.
Yeah, it's really been a lot like that since, I don't know, about 2016, 17 time. Well, at least increasingly so. Entirely vibes-based politics where, everything's made up and the points don't matter. Like, that's just a really sustainable and effective way to govern, So the government has pledged to provide an additional £34 million a year, plus 92 million that's already been confirmed for legal aid solicitors. This is where we get to do the thing again. There are around 11,760...
Is it divide word by one?
Divide one word by another, that's right. We're playing Scrabble, boys.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
There are around 11,760 legal aid solicitors, in total in England, Scotland and Wales. That was as of 2019, because that's the most recent number I could find. So it is probably considerably less than that now. However, using this figure, that means that the funding would grant an extra £10,500 per solicitor, which, on the face of it, would be, that is a pretty substantial pay increase if that was directly one-to-one increase in overall pay for legal aid solicitors. as a sort of a ballpark, newly qualified solicitors, specifically legal aid solicitors, outside of London can expect a salary of between £20,000 and £40,000.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
Christ.
Like fucking horrendous. So this would be like anywhere from a 25 to 50% bump in pay. Again, assuming that whole £10,000 figure is what that is going to become. However, when you put this in the context of newly qualified solicitors doing civil law in the city, they can earn upwards of £160,000. So,
fuck me. Come on, just.
Yeah, so 30k. Are you gonna go for the career path with an average pay of what? So that'd be 30 to 50. So 40k average pay, and or an opportunity to maybe make 160k in London. I mean, it's just not a surprise, is it? That again, this 11,700 odd is going to be a lot lower, so that pay would actually still be higher. But is it half as much again? Double? Still not anywhere near those kinds of very, very tempting pay packets that the city can offer for that kind of thing. And the aforementioned, just completely dilapidated actual physical courts and so on. It's not just the pay, it's everything else around it. It's things like people who actually work in the prisons having enough time and motivation to bring defendants to the actual fucking courthouse and things like that. Maybe those people there should be more of them, and they can do their jobs properly. But no, what we're going to do is we're going to go with the thing that will save us time in criminal cases. In a criminal case without a jury versus with, what do you think the time saved is?
Couple of hours, because jury deliberation, you have to do some jury instructions, that kind of stuff.
It's about 20% of the time of a. So a trial with a jury is 20% savings on time versus without a jury. And only at the mere cost of fickle judges getting to decide whether or not you are guilty of the crime of assault with intent to resist arrest.
I mean, this is one of those things where, I have genuinely no, philosophical or moral preference for juries or, judges. I come from a country where, judges have always done it. Jury law does not fucking exist. And I don't think that, the Dutch legal system is therefore better or worse. I just think that, if you want to do these things on, sort of a, philosophical basis on, judges are maybe sometimes better equipped to, understand, complex cases. But on the other hand, does that matter? I genuinely do not have a point about that. But, the fucked up thing is, to do this and to say we're doing this to save time and not we are doing this, because of some moral or philosophical ground,
No, well, I will. Two things there. First off, there is an argument about juries are unnecessarily used in certain types of trial, like complex fraud. They like to say that complex fraud cases are too taxing on juries and they don't necessarily understand because they're not experts. Okay, fair enough. Are the judges experts on that? Is that their core specialty? If it's their core specialty,
isn't it?
Yeah. If it's their core specialty, then surely there would be something akin to a fraud judge, and then we would have that. But no, fuck that. The judge can just be some cunt that knows some laws, but not necessarily the intricacies of whatever sector has been defrauded or whatever. Especially now, because what if it's some ridiculous fucking crypto bullshit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
So Secondly, the ideological point of this is ideological, but not in any sort of moral stance. They're not doing this because they have an actual moral take on it. like Alistair said, resisting arrest will now be jury-free, which means everyone out doing a protest is now liable to have what is effectively a summary fucking trial. Because the judges never, ever seem to be fucking on side with that kind of stuff, and in fact are actively contemptuous of it at points.
I mean, we've seen like a bunch of those cases like come up recently, especially. Like I know the ones you mean, but on the other hand, I don't know. Like maybe we see those because they are so out of the ordinary. Like they make the news because they are the way they are, and there's like 500 a day that you don't see because the judge just goes, "Yeah, this seems kind of piss." Bye.
Yeah. There is definitely some sort of debate to be had on the idea of are juries actually better than not having juries, etc., etc. But it's kind of academic on this one because this is absolutely an ideological move by an increasingly authoritarian government.
Yes. Oh, yeah, 100% that. And, like, so much then now starts to hinge on, like, how do judges get appointed, not just like to the bench itself, but to particular trials? Because like there've now been a number of cases where like there's been I'm trying to remember his name, but I've just forgotten it. Like there's this one fucking hideous judge who keeps getting like assigned to like these kinds of cases and just like keeps banging the gavel and sending people to prison. It's like I don't know how those things work, and like I think that will become a lot more important. But it's like, instead of doing this, which is just like a headline fix, it's like, as Alistair began, why don't you fucking pay people? Because that seems to me like the much more important thing. Like pay, lawyers.
No spend, only cut.
Yeah, I mean, like another figure I saw is that the average age for criminal lawyers, so that includes barristers and solicitors, is like upper 40s. So they're just, so even putting aside judges, the lawyers themselves are increasingly aging. So like your knowledge base is like this hyper, focused, old, like literally old knowledge that these people could potentially become judges in the future or whatever. But they are so far away from what like a younger person has experienced in the modern day.
Yeah.
Just becoming increasingly detached as a result, and like the problem again, just as with all these things we talk about, the problem just the crisis really gets worse and worse and worse, because at best all we can do is fiddle around the edges or do just essentially arbitrarily declare 3 years as the cutoff, as a sentence, as a cutoff for jury trials with no real philosophical.
Yeah, that's such a weird fucking thing as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no one liked 5, so we had to pick a different number.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing about the 5-year cutoff is that when I was looking at a table of various maximum sentence lengths. One of the ones I saw was knowledge of terrorist activity, and isn't that an interesting category? But is now outside of the maximum cutoff.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things as well where I'm like, if you do this thing right, where you say, well, everything's taking too long and all the quote-unquote small crimes, they're not small, the consequences can be horrendous, but just to use a word, like, all right, okay, you do that, but then, like, any line that you draw between a jury trial and a judge-led trial is... there's going to be weirdness on either side of it, because, like, there's always going to be weirdness on either side of it, so it's like, why even bother with that bit? Why not just go whole hog and just, like, get rid of jury involvement in court systems, which, like, again...
yeah, just get some kangaroos and fuck it.
No, that's
the only true arbiters of justice.
So, the way this actually is going to work.
Actually, you know what you get? You get that. What the fuck was the name of that German octopus that used to predict the outcome of World Cup games? Just get
Paul.
that. Like, just get Paul the octopus in every court, and like if they wiggle left, you're guilty, and if you wiggle right, free to go.
Yeah.
I would love to go to a court.
I'm down for that.
The jury was 8 octopuses. I'd be down for that. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone at the end of the first day. Everyone at the end of the first day covered in ink and water. Hell yeah.
You are held in contempt of court.
So the way this is actually going to work is because I don't understand the English legal system. So like, if I get any of this wrong, my apologies. But I'm led to believe it's shit and bad. And I don't think anyone will take issue with me saying that. So, if you are now accused of burglary, theft, fraud, sexual assault, stalking, sharing indecent images, drug dealing, or criminal damage up to £10,000, you would then be denied the right to put your case to a jury, like which you can currently just say, under those kind of offences, I would like a jury, please, and they have to give you the jury. That would no longer happen. It will now be split in such a... There's a something called an either way case, where because of the sentencing guidelines, the offence can, as things stand currently, either be seen by a magistrate, in which case you wouldn't get a jury anyway, or they could potentially have to go and see an actual judge, in which case you could ask for a jury. It just depends on what the likely sentence will be, which is already a ridiculous way to fucking do things. Those cases now would be dealt with by magistrates who will have their sentencing power increased from up to 12 months to 18 months. And for some reason, they have explicitly laid out the threat that they could increase that further to 24 months. They're not saying they will do it, but they've said they could, which is an odd statement to make in the situation in which they're making it. And they will set up a new type of court called a swift court, which is just going to be you and a panel of judges. That sounds familiar.
That sounds like the midnight courts that Keir Starmer used to oversee after the London riots.
What in the Saul Goodman ass fucking naming system are they going with? Like the fucking ad in Breaking Bad where it's like speedy justice for you, but they've made it like the actual British legal system. Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dread Court.
24 months in the ISO cubes.
So the guy who came up with this was none other than Brian Levison, the guy who, inexplicably decided that a bunch of cool shit should be done to the media and yet decides that this is the case and fuck the concept of juries for the majority of people.
Didn't that guy still have, like, just out of curiosity, like, have a bunch of recommendations still outstanding? Like, did he not just go, like, look, I'm happy to have a look at this, but can you please just, like, pick up where I left off the last fucking time?
Yeah, but those went to Tony Blair's inbox. No one can access that anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Lost the time, never mind. But anyway, he was quoted by the BBC last year saying, the best deterrent to crime is speedy justice. No,
speedy
the best
justice
deterrent
for you.
The best deterrent to crime is providing for people so that crime is no longer necessary. You fucking
no, not like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
a murderer caught today, execution tonight at 7, all channels.
Yeah. He backed this up with that was very recently revealed during the riots, where cases were put through the courts very quickly and those riots died down. Yes, that's why those riots died down.
Right.
People went to court.
Everybody remember those things that were awesome, and not at all people were sent to prison for 6 months for stealing a bottle of fucking water.
Yep. What I remember about those riots were that they happened and then a couple of days passed and then a bunch of arrests were made, and during that couple of days there weren't really any riots. So I don't think that's what the way that this guy thinks that worked.
Far be it from Keir Starmer to pass up an opportunity to like crack down on any like people even accused of crime. You know, the notoriously good human rights lawyer saying no, we should not have an actually judicious justice system. We need to have speedy justice that you can get at the push of a button. No juries necessary.
Yep. Judgy.
I mean, so far as I understand it, the speedier justice is, the more likely you are to, get actual sort of philosophical justice.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like, justice delayed is justice denied is, like, a very important idiom, really, because you've got people waiting years and years to have their day in court. Whether it's people who are innocent, who are trying to like clear their name, get a not guilty verdict. If you're the victim of a crime and the perpetrator is going through it, and the case is taking 3, 4, 5, 6 years to go to court for various reasons and delays. Like, of course, these are just manifestly unjust.
Yeah, bad things. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't matter though, because David Lammy's going to release them early anyway, so it's fine.
Also, couldn't help but notice that, like, as we started recording, they released like yet another piece of research into the Hillsborough disaster and declared that all the cops who should have gone to trial don't go to trial because it's not necessary anymore because they're too old. So, like, there are some things where it's very important that we don't act with haste, that we go as slow as humanly possible, and there are some other cases where, it's really important that everything goes super, super speedy.
Yeah, but bottles of water for me, mass deaths at football matches for thee.
Yeah, fucking hell. Those former police officers are spending time with their pensions, okay? It would be very, very inconsiderate to take them away from whatever fucking life of relative fucking luxury compared to literally anyone who was there at the fucking day. So, yeah.
So I think that's a strong argument, and I would urge, the British legal system to apply that same approach to, some fucking pensioners who are acting in support of Palestine. To stop them from being hauled off to prison because they are enjoying their retirement, I assume.
Oh, you'd like to think so, but unfortunately, no, they're not. Oh, I mean, we call it a justice system continually, and at the end of the day, like, I don't even know if we should have a justice system, really, for the most part. Like, justice should be kind of, like, automatic, ingrained, and all that kind of stuff. If anything, we really want to consider having some sort of rehabilitation system, because as we know, we don't do justice in any way. We just have a whole industrial complex which is designed to punish people and no more, because that's the bare minimum that people...
Yeah, I mean, fundamentally, the justice system is a disciplinary tool for the state. Like, that's what it does. Yeah, we know that the cops are, the legitimized violent arm because the state has a monopoly on violence. So, like, why would that not also cascade through the courts?
Yeah.
Maybe make prisons worse. Maybe that'll help. I hear they're doing that now.
Still. Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
Just makes you think of that fucking Jeremy Clarkson bit where he's talking about, wow, if we all drove around with a big knife sticking out of our steering wheel, then everyone would drive really carefully. I'm like, yeah, that's a joke, but at the same time, that is basically the
also
the moral argument of the moral argument of most of the fucking British legal system.
The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards the knife in your steering wheel.
So I thought I would just check and see what's the political response to this. I did see a couple of things in the BBC or the Guardian, can't remember which one, don't really care at this point. So you can take this one with a grain of salt because it's Stella Creasy saying it, but apparently only 3% of trials are jury trials anyway.
Yeah, but what if it was less?
Yeah. Well, what if we saved a tiny amount? Yeah, so whatever savings we picked up earlier, multiply it by 0.03, and that's your savings, because it will save almost nothing. Hooray! Others that come out were some of the usuals. There was whatever dickheads in charge of this fucking soft left saviour Tribune group said, this is bad actually, which, yeah, okay, cool, that's fine. You'll do nothing about it though, so never mind. Diane Abbott came out against it, because of course Diane Abbott did, which is fair dues. Richard Burgon decided that he was going to phrase this in a wonderful way, which was basically, what are we, Russians? So, well done.
Who stuck a quid in him?
Yeah.
Did the Socialist Campaign Group,
fuck my life, yeah.
Put a fucking card round. What's going on?
I don't even, does it even still exist, or is it just like an empty desk somewhere?
Somebody recently checked that they hadn't tweeted since 2023 or something.
They can't even be asked to write tweets, never mind letters anymore. Fucking great. Oh dear. So yeah, that's that. Alistair, did you see anyone else? Being normal about this?
The secret barrister tweeted a lot about. Obviously the problems aren't the problems with the courts are manifold, which yes, correct, but also, my guy, who did you want to be Prime Minister? Who were you castigating people for not liking Keir Starmer? Problem with your order, sir? Well. So I feel like we've gone a bit over.
Waiter, there's soup in my soup.
Yeah. And just like your typical bloviating in The Guardian, again, don't cry because you got what you wanted.
Yeah. Just one last thing, I've actually forgot about this. Fucking Lammy was quoted in Parliament by Robert Jenrick saying about how important he thought the concepts of juries were, and that they were basically required for an actual justice system to function. And Keir Starmer was also quoted by Jenrick saying largely the same thing. So it's good policy when you can be owned by Robert fucking Jenrick.
Yeah. He was taking some much needed fucking time off from yelling at migrants on the beach somewhere or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, I suppose something good came of this if it managed to get him back inside.
That's true.
Sake.
This is an ad break on Podcasting as Praxis. This advert is for the Patreon of Podcasting as Praxis. On the Patreon of Podcasting as Praxis, you will get at least 2 monthly bonus episodes of Podcasting as Praxis, where we discuss lots of topics, including new types of guy, celestial boondoggles, monetising whale shit, and, reluctantly, Scott Paul. You will also be able to join the Podcasting as Praxis Discord, a place to talk with like-minded people about lots of topics, including new types of guy, celestial boondoggles, monetising whale shit, but not Scott Paul, and also, of course, Podcasting as Praxis. If that isn't enough Podcasting as Praxis for you, the Discord also includes a bonus channel where we post the bits that don't make the final cut of the episodes. Fans of both mediocre and bad podcasting have everything to gain by subscribing to the Patreon of Podcasting as Praxis. You will also no longer get ads on episodes of Podcasting as Praxis. £5 a month will get you all of that and maybe more at patreon.com/ you guessed it, Praxiscast. That's patreon.com/Praxiscast, the place where we sell Podcasting as Praxis.
Shall we turn to something much more amusing? Because our favourite big boy is back in the news. We are vibrating.
Gary Sambrook.
No, our genuine favourite big boy. So we briefly mentioned the Ajax 2 weeks ago, where we talked to John Duncan about Palestine, when the Times had reported that 10 soldiers had been sent to hospital during field trials for problems including loss of balance, serious headaches, and tinnitus. That was 2 weeks ago.
That. It's fine.
They were already like that. Wait, I mean, they were already like that because we I checked. We talked about
the
Ajax.
Have they now left the hospital changed irrevocably? Like,
well,
permanently altered by their experience in the Ajax.
Well, look, I mean, those 10 soldiers might have needed to be, some of them needed to be hospitalized and had tinnitus or, whatever. But
you're not supposed to hear the voice of the Omnissiah directly.
I mean, this was only following like a previous outbreak of much the same over the summer when they were doing some other trials, like field trials. During the summer, the army claimed that there was no systemic problem, like just some squaddies having quite literal bad vibes.
Oops, we accidentally made an entire tank out of the material that they used to make the Lament configuration.
Yeah, but after that, after 2 weeks ago, when these 10 soldiers were hospitalized, don't worry, said the MOD. We have formally declared this, fighting vehicle safe, and the tests will continue until morale improves. Said Defense Minister Luke Pollard not even a month ago, quote, "After all the problems it may have had in the past, we have put those to bed now." He also confirmed to several papers that the Ajax was ready for use after having been given assurances in writing from senior people that all is well. And, for about £5.5 billion total investment, you'd hope that everything's okay.
Mm.
Well, I mean, they put it to bed in the sense of, like, you have complained too much, and so you have to go to your room now without dinner.
Yeah, sent to hospital bed. Have they issued the soldiers the Yeezys that all the fucking prison guards at Narkina 5 wear to try and absorb some of the vibrations?
Well, I mean, so...
At Hostapol, lost earlobe.
So, like I said, 10 soldiers were injured. Don't worry, said the MOD. Don't worry, said everybody. It's fine. It's, it's just a small thing. This is the test phase. We, we're supposed to expect this. And all this was true until at least Tuesday last week, when the entire Ajax training program was put on pause after a further 30 soldiers suffered more symptoms of noise and vibration.
When are they going to learn that the one thing that this fucking machine does is vibrate soldiers at their resonant frequency? That's all it fucking does. Like, how many
racked up.
It sounds like you're feeding soldiers into a vibrator.
Yeah, it's like, is there a Sibian so strong not even God can ride it? I think we found the answer.
They launch a submarine, right, and they hide the propeller so that people can't figure out the noise that it makes. They are actively advertising here with the way this looks, with the fucking way that you can shake a British soldier apart. There's just going to be a set of speakers on a hilltop at the next battle the British Army engages in, and every one of them is just going to fall into a puddle.
Not even the fucking doof warrior could ride the front of the Ajax.
Oh, what's that fucking machine that reduces reduces an entire mouse to a soup-like homogenate? Did they get those guys in to build this thing? If you can get those government contracts, like you've made it.
The Crown note.
If I understood it correctly, in the last month, the Ajax fighting vehicle has, injured or incapacitated at least 40 soldiers of the British Army.
Jesus,
that's got to be like a whole single figure percentages of the entire British fighting force, right?
It's something like that, yeah.
Probably not far off it, yeah.
By the way, the testing operations, of course, took place on the Salisbury plane, and they were called Operation Iron Fist. Symptoms of this latest batch of testing were like I said, about 30 soldiers got sick. where was when soldiers were in the vehicles for 10 to 15 hour stretches, which...
Oh.
Yeah. Symptoms, according to Forces News, the places you go for this podcast, included the symptoms are, quote unquote, noise and vibration related, causing personnel to vomit and shake uncontrollably.
Is that good?
The Iron Fists is a loyalist chapter of Space Marines and a successor chapter of the Iron Hands. The Iron Fists make use of land behemoths' massive mobile fortresses to travel across the surface of their home world.
Yeah, the vomiting and the shaking is just the God Emperor of mankind speaking through them.
Yeah, that's it. Ferris man.
Maybe this is all just like, it turns out that we are just a tribute planet to like a Space Marine chapter, and like, you know, the one soldier in 1,000 that can, you know, ride the Ajax. It's like... But yeah, so the vibrations, you know, be noise and vibration related.
Something CD biscuit.
All of this is despite, and we talked with John Duncan 2 weeks ago about like how they're already wearing like triple layer like ear protection that doesn't seem to work. But according to Sky News, one of the other fixes they tried to stop, you know, the soldiers from vibrating to death was, quote unquote, more cushions on the seats.
Yes.
What are they gonna? Are they gonna like put like the interior seating on like, you know, car suspension type situation? You know, like just have you like fully suspended from in a cocoon to try and dampen some of the fucking vibration. Like every time we bring this thing up, it always seems to be worse.
They should simply meld the man with the machine.
Imagine your commanding officer saying, look, I know it's weird, but tomorrow you're all mandated to bring your stuffed animals to work with you. It's for your own safety.
These are my stuffed animals from Army.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, look, the armored fighting Sibian is just the gift that keeps on giving. I fucking love it so much. And
it's a rich well that like we're just gonna keep going back to. I think like until a well filled with a soup-like homogenate of soldiers.
Yeah. The good thing is that every couple of weeks a new part of it shakes loose.
I mean, for maybe our newer listeners who haven't listened to the original episode, I think it's episode 84, but like this massively delayed, like over heavy piece of shit is like the focal point of like our army's next generation of land warfare. Like if this thing doesn't get fixed and doesn't work, we have no alternative. There is no like, we just have nothing.
Too big to fail. But in a land fighting vehicle form.
I mean, it is too big to fail because it currently still weighs in at 40 tons, which, unless they've changed things, it means you still need to take it apart, put it into pieces, and then put those pieces separately on different cargo planes because, like, it's too heavy to fit on any of the airlift capacity the UK currently possesses.
This thing weighs 2/3 as much as an M1 Abrams. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, see our previous episode, but like this was a whole design process where, like, when it was being designed, the like, you know, all the handsome generals just like kept adding more shit to it.
Oh yeah, they wanted it to be like the infantry fighting vehicle from Red Alert 2, where you can just put different guys in it and do different stuff. But like, it turns out doing that in real life, you have to build like entire different fucking turrets to stick on the thing.
Yeah, and the turrets didn't work. I think the turrets work now, but back then the turrets didn't work. Just go listen back to episode 84 if you want all the gross details of that. But like, delightfully, you know, it's now 2025, and back when these things were first like commissioned, the plan was that they would be in operation in 2017. It's now 25, and it's still shaking soldiers to death.
It's the SA-80 all over again, but somehow worse.
Yeah. So I read a piece from Sky, because they did like, I don't know, they did like a fun day out for the journalists where like people got to ride it for a little bit.
Yeah, emphasis on a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I assume not for 15 hours, but I'll just read you some bits from it. The vehicle is very loud, though soldiers said this would not...
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that.
What? It's very loud. Well, we talked about this 2 weeks ago with John Duncan. There was a piece in the Times then that said that like it produces a noise level of 90 decibels from a few meters away, which is the same as a very loudly screamed conversation taking place next to you, essentially. Though the soldiers said this would not impact its ability to conduct its primary mission of reconnaissance. And the best thing about reconnaissance is if the opposing side can hear you coming from thousands of miles away.
Yep.
It's so good. There is one other thing, though, which is kind of, a drawback. Quote again from Sky. The vehicle's armor is designed to protect against drone attacks. However, officials have said the fleet is yet to be fitted with electronic countermeasures, even though this kind of equipment is fundamental for any operation in Ukraine to help jam enemy drones. So, like, essentially, it's not safe from drones.
Well, it's a good thing they'll never be sent to fucking Ukraine then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, or anywhere else on the planet, because, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but, like, drone warfare has caught on in a big way.
Oh yeah, like, and it turns out they love dropping fucking grenades from those things into open tank hatches. So, like, I hope you like having to like destroy your hearing with the fucking door closed in this thing, as people throw grenades from thousands of drones.
Yeah, become the noise marine you always wanted to be. Anyway, in the meantime, also, at least this was a bit from last month, I think also from Sky, that the Ministry of Defense has been like telling the papers and loads of other people that, a lot of NATO allies simply cannot wait to buy Ajaxes off their own because,
Uh-huh. Do they also have soldiers that they hate?
I mean, I hope so, presumably. But yeah. Anyway, that's your Ajax update. It's still incredible. I still love it. Just love it. It's just the best thing.
Well, I mean, like, at this point, it sounds like they're going to roll this fucking thing out, doesn't it? Like, they are going to make this the mainline combat vehicle for the British Army, and what are they going to do when they run out of soldiers to deafen?
Get some more soldiers.
Yeah, more grist for the mill.
They've been trying that for a while. It's not working.
That's true, because they gave them the recruiting to Serco. We did a whole episode about that too. Anyway, whilst my mind was, firmly focused on the Ministry of Defence, I thought I should do, one more quick check-in and ask of another old friend, how is that going? And turns out that the NAO and the House, the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, have both published reports about, the goings-on of the F-35, the other white wing of the UK defence establishment.
I love this piece of shit.
It's...
Oh man, how many of those fucking things got destroyed in the was it the Persian Gulf? Man,
we only tipped the one overboard by accident, but that was kind of a problem because we don't have so many. So for those of you, like, again, there's a very old episode couldn't remember which one it was. I think it's a B road to the danger zone. I can't remember the number, but I'm fairly sure that's what the episode's called.
I love it when we go back through our old episode titles and just like eminently enjoy them because we've all had that button clicked in the back of our heads.
Yeah,
we don't remember anything about any episode we've ever recorded.
Yeah. You, the listener, might not enjoy any of our shit, but, you know, we do. And quite frankly, that is the most important.
Yes.
Anyway, just a little bit of Podded history, just as a catch-up. So this was first known as the Joint Strike Fighter project. It's been in some form of development since about 1995. And somewhere along the line, Britain became the only Tier 1 partner, which meant it got more input and like some parts were mandated to be manufactured in the UK. It means that like by value, at least 15% of each F-35 is manufactured in the UK. So we have some defense plants that make these things essentially.
Yeah, and the variant, it's the one industry that we're actually allowed to expand and like
yes,
you know, rope people into basically, like all of your fucking mechanical and aerospace engineers. This is where like most of them end up.
So why does the UK have the B variant instead of the A or the C variant? That's because the B is for short takeoff and vertical landing, which is a core requirement for Britain. Sorry?
It stands for beta in relation to a relationship to the United States.
Yeah. The Chad A variant.
No, the Chad is the fucking Harrier jump jet. Let's be real.
That's true. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Somehow we didn't plump for the C version, which obviously stands for cuck.
I always wondered what those second chairs and jets were for.
That puts a whole new meaning on like that weird relationship between Maverick and Goose and Top Gun, because Goose is just like in the little cuck chair in the back.
Yeah, I was about to say getting cut by the Chad Tom Cruise, but like I don't like that at all.
No,
I mean, the smart power move is of course to wait until the Sigma variant comes out, and you know. Anyway, so we have the B variant because it does short takeoffs and vertical landings, which is a core requirement of Britain's, you know, I'm still a real country.
Aircraft carrier.
Yes, I'm still a real country. Look at my shitty aircraft carrier. If you're curious, the A variant is the normal one that takes off from land, which you can't use on any carriers because it needs a long runway. And the C variant is the one that like you use on a carrier, but like a normal carrier with a full runway instead of the weird short ones that the UK decided to build that nobody's really very happy with. But that's a different story for a different podcast. So the UK is committed to buying 138 F-35s in total in several like chunks of acquisition. So far, we've ordered and I think paid for 48 of them. We've received 38. But one of them got accidentally tipped over into the Mediterranean Sea, so now we only have 37.
Oh well.
If you're curious, by the way,
didn't want that plane anyway.
If you're curious, by the way, there is absolutely no approved timetable for purchasing the last 90, so we have no idea if or when those purchases will ever be made. And you know, not that I want more of the fucking things, but just yeah.
Presumably, this is because every part that's manufactured to go into these planes is being used by the planes that already exist.
Well, parts are an interesting.
We'll buy second hand off the US when they all switch over to that fucking Trump super fighter, whatever the.
Oh yeah, that's.
I can't remember. Music. Was it that stealth is really good or stealth is really gay? I can't remember. It was one of the two, but that's basically what he said. I think it was stealth is gay now. And we should just fly the planes at our enemies. And
fly the planes directly at our enemies and just deploy the Yamato gun, which is
yeah.
So in the end, Britain has decided that these 138 planes, if they all ever get delivered, it's going to be value for money, because the idea is that these are expected to be in service until 2069.
Nice. Is that because a lot of them are going to be delivered in like 2068?
It's very well it's very well possible. So, like, in terms of diffusion of responsibilities, these things are primarily, like, apart from some parts that are made all over the world, these things are assembled, made, and then shipped from the United States. But the MOD is responsible for everything that isn't making or delivering an actual plane. So pilots, trained engineers, the weapons, infrastructure, logistics, as well as, the stupid carriers to fly them from.
Mm-hmm.
So,
am I misremembering, or didn't the US have like a switch that they could flip that would just turn these fuckers off as well?
Well, I looked into that, and the UK Air Force says that they are fully operationally independent and there is no kill switch, but I don't think they would admit that. Would the Americans admit that there's a kill switch, or would the British say, yeah, we knew of the kill switch, we thought it was sick nasty, actually?
No, we've all learned our lesson from the kill switch that they confirmed on the fucking nuclear weapons, so...
Yeah.
So, the question is now, so we have 37 of the damn things. Are we actually capable of flying some missions with them now?
I don't know, but my money is on no.
Well, it depends on how you phrase the word some, because the MOD declared, at least the carrier group, to have full operational capability in November of 2025, so last month, which means, at least according to the Navy press release, that quote-unquote, all of its component parts are ready to operate on frontline duties wherever required, and the carrier group is mission ready for NATO, so I assume that includes the F-35s, right? Because otherwise, if the planes on the carrier don't work, then clearly, it's not ready for frontline duty, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a carrier, it wouldn't be engaged in frontline duty, so there's your get out.
So, weirdly enough, we're still waiting on the same declaration for the F-35. So, the carrier group is ready for combat, essentially, but the Air Force hasn't signed off on the F-35s at the same time, which is incredible.
So we've got this whole fleet of fucking F-35s, 37 of the fuckers, and all we really seem to be doing with them at the moment is occasionally throwing one into the Mediterranean and, spending lots and lots of money maintaining the rest.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, sacrificing to Neptune isn't cheap, but if you want a safe passage through the rough seas... Neptune can only be satisfied.
Listen, that coral reef is the greenest thing this fucking government has done.
So, the whole of the UK currently has 2 total frontline squadrons of 12 F-35s each, with 13 spare planes being used for refitting, training, and so on and so forth. However, because... if I understand it correctly, all 24 of the F-35s that are in full service are currently out at sea with our one carrier that's out at sea. It means that unless I'm much mistaken,
it means that carrier has the opportunity to do the funniest thing.
Yes. However, it also means that there's only 13 F-35s in the UK at any given time, and that's not enough planes for the training squadron, so the new pilots can't come up to speed quick enough.
Incredible.
However, this declaration of full operational capability for the F-35 is a subjective process, which is fantastic, because essentially the Air Force gets to make up its own rules as to what they define as fully operationally capable.
There's no rule saying a dog can't fly an F-35.
Who's responsible for flying the F-35s from the carrier? Is that still the Air Force? Or do we do that mad American shit where we decide that the Navy should fly? Or even stupider, the Marines should fly?
I mean, America's a silly country, but this is a good question. I think it might still be RAF, that does the flight part of the carrier. Like, I don't think we have
Right.
a Navy air wing anymore. The UK doesn't. I could be wrong about that, so like, don't at me, but I think it's RAF.
They'll have their own helicopters and stuff. We let the army fly fucking helicopters.
So, like, part of this like subjective process as to whether or not these things are ready is that one of the things they have deliberately left out of this test of is it fully operationally capable was this thing that's known as the Spear 3 cruise missile. And those things are quite important because what you do is they're called a standoff weapon, which means you take off from the carrier, you hope you don't, go into the deep sea, and then like you fly it outside of range of, let's say, Russian air defenses, and it's a big cruise missile. So like you fly like 1,000 miles towards Russia or China or whoever, and like you fire it off and it goes, and because you're far enough away, you're not inside the range of, Chinese or Russian air defenses, like it's a safe launch, essentially, right?
Uh-huh.
Right.
So this Spear 3 cruise missile is like a really important piece because it allows the carrier to essentially have like land strike capability that doesn't expose its hundreds of million dollar planes to like, air defense batteries, essentially.
Small arms file.
And
clouds.
Yes. Birds, things of this nature, yeah.
Ill-willed thoughts.
Professor X,
A particularly large chunk of magnetite.
So this thing was first like mentioned in like an army press release back in 2005. We're now 20 years later, of course. It's the usual tie-up between, the MOD and about 60,000 different arms manufacturers, including some of your favorites from the Ajax, by the way. Kinetic, written with two Q's, is once again
that
involved.
one, yes.
Yeah.
I love that one has two Q's in it. These people are not gamers, and that much is obvious.
So in May of this year, 2025, so about 20 years later...
Did you just get that?
Yeah.
In May of 2025, so 20 years later, the Air Force had to admit to Parliament that this Spear 3 missile still wasn't ready, delightfully. This was, according to the NAO report I read, partly due to, quote, poor supply performance, partly due to lack of suitably qualified and experienced personnel, lack of delivery prioritization within the commercial arrangements between the MOD and various arms manufacturers, and the program awaiting a component delivery from the United States. The new, operational timeline for this thing to enter service and be able to be fired from an F-35 is somewhere in the early 2030s.
So, like... One of them, the major selling point of this plane still isn't ready and won't be ready.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, 25 years after the thing was mentioned in the first place. That's just beautiful. Like, I love that we have this entire industry that is, like I said earlier, one of the few industries in this country that is allowed to flourish. And yet they just continue to soak up like loads and loads of investment, whether it be public or private, and deliver nothing. Like a plane that is good for falling into the ocean and seemingly not much else. A tank that reduces people to a super-like homogenate and delivers what else? Funny NAO reports.
To be fair. Look, and like, if you want us to do podcast content, you can just like give us several $100 million, $100 millions of pounds. We're easy like that.
I will absolutely be involved in japes if you give me several hundreds of millions of pounds. Like, I will find a way to create podcast content with that money.
Much like the Ajax did a couple weeks ago, where it said, no, it's fully operationally capable. There's every chance that this month, so December of 2025, the Air Force will simply declare that this aircraft has full operational capacity, even though it clearly doesn't. Yes. So you might be asking,
you just decide what the operation is, change that a bit, and then technically you're right. The best kind of right.
Frankenstein declaring his monster ready for operation despite the fact it's only got one arm.
Well, I mean, it's questioning why it's even alive and it hates its creator, so, I think it's time to ship this baby. So apart from this Spear 3 standoff weapon and, the fact that we only have 37 and not 138, what else is the F-35 missing, you ask? Well, one of the things it's missing is a crucial bit of infrastructure that is known as an air signature assessment facility. And this is essentially the bit that tests whether or not the F-35 is actually stealthy, like whether or not all its stealth components work properly.
So we don't even know if the stealth works.
Not really, because we don't have the facility that that does the test. And ideally, testing the stealth capability is something you want to do before, again, I say, sending it into
you
Russian
find out
or Chinese
much to your
or
cost.
Iranian airspace. Yes. So the reason why we don't have this thing is that the Air Force or the MOD decided to postpone building it to fix a short-term budget gap. A couple years ago, they were missing a couple, tens of millions of pounds or something. And so they decided not to build this building. They were like, fuck it. We'll do it later.
Like, even despite, all of these the fucking arms industry soaking up all this money, we still go about manufacturing arms in the most British way possible, which is to just still not actually allocate resources correctly to do the thing that we say that we want to do, which is, again, manufacturing arms.
Listen, if the Air Force isn't allowed to wing it, what's the point in them?
And apparently, we do have a deal in place to do this stealth measuring with the Italian Air Force, because they do have one of these assessment facilities. But apparently, we can only send a max of 2 planes a year for testing. So, with our current fleet of 37, that would take, 18 and a half years to test the current batch and see if they're all still stealthy.
Oh my man, that is just incredible. Okay, man.
Are the Italians fully on board with the F-35 as well? Is that
they are. Yeah. They're not the UK is the only tier 1 partner. The Dutch, hooray, are the only tier 2 partner. The Italians are only tier 3 subs, so they get access to the bonus content, but not extra material.
Tier 1 partner. My wife's name is Soap.
Another thing that's currently not working or not working very well is its operating system. Its updates, the Windows updates are being blocked.
The Windows updates are being blocked?
Yeah.
Could they share this technology, please? I would also like to have my Windows updates be blocked.
So the current set of software patches, apparently called Tech Refresh 3 and Block 4, they're being run through the American DoD. So you can't get them until the DoD is done with them. And the American army is currently exploding small boats off the Venezuelan coast, and that fucking Secretary of War, as we now have to call him, is making generals do push-ups and shave their beard instead of whatever the hell. And this apparently is fantastically. This is also part of the reason why we don't have that that F-35 cruise missile yet. Is because you can't install the drivers of the cruise missile until the patch is done, and the patch isn't done.
Drivers!
plugging my cruise missile into my PC and waiting for the little dingle sound to know that I can fire it.
Have you tried launching it in DirectX 12?
Just reinstalling Linux on my F-35. Just getting...
Someone needs to go to the Ajax and uninstall Sound Blaster drivers.
So, according to the NAO, one part of these drivers, the Block 4 of drivers, won't be finalized until like maybe even 2034 or something. So, like, the patches aren't working, and like that's causing a real problem. So, part of what's going on with these software updates is they also want to update like the software that runs the engine core and the power thermal management systems. And like for those things to be upgraded, this will like increase the cooling requirements because they want them to go faster. But like in order for plane to go faster, you also need to cool the engine more. And there is a risk that future upgrades to those two systems could require more cooling than the aircraft can currently produce. So
yeah,
like they're trying to overclock the plane.
Yeah, I hear turbines love it when you heat them beyond their like operational temperature, and all the fucking turbine blades just sort of melt simultaneously.
Yes, and apparently this is even worse for like the F-35B variant because it needs so much of its existing power for the vertical takeoff. For the vertical landing and short takeoff, that like the F-35B is the one that's the most likely to be impacted, and that is the one that Britain like buys essentially.
Hell yeah!
There's also because
if I wonder how much of an impact operating these things in countries with like that are hotter than most of the UK are. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about that too much. So, there's one more thing, Alistair. You mentioned spare parts before. So part of the problem is also that the Americans are reworking like the spare parts program. This is a global program. So like, it's called the Global Support Solution, where like they distribute spare parts, and the backlog for these parts is currently unusually high. Quote the NAO report. Between October 2024 and January 2025, the global F-35B fleet, i.e. the one that Britain has, was non-mission capable due to a supply issue at a rate which exceeded the production target by around 1/5, where the aim is to remain below the target. So like the demand for spare parts was outstripping supply by about 20%. And that's around the world. And apparently the UK's lack of spare parts exceeded the demand by about 50%, making it significantly worse than every other country.
Is it just me, or like should your plane not really need spare parts that often if it's good?
I mean, I don't know. Like, depends on like if you don't fly it, if you just like look at it, if you don't take it out of its original box.
I mean, I would simply buy a plane that works,
Yeah, but
well, I mean,
why do that?
Each generation of fighter has to have all the latest doodahs and gewgaws that have become like the modern termination solution, or whatever the fuck they're calling the massive fuck off cruise missile. So yeah, like I suppose necessarily the like supply chains just become again going back to the insanely bloated arms industry worldwide. Like it's no wonder that these supply chains are very behind. And also, I suppose it wouldn't surprise me if that was built in either, because planned obsolescence of parts is like that is going to be a massive money maker.
Just an Air Force truck driving to the local B&Q. It's like, so do you have any parts for? So apart from armaments like that cruise missile, spare parts, and software updates, apparently what we're also quite short on is guys. We just don't have the guys.
Oh.
And part of the reason this is fantastic. We're short on like everything, right? We don't have enough pilots, we don't have enough engineers, we don't have enough support crew, we don't have enough of anything. And that's apparently partially because back when the MOD was setting its recruitment targets for F-35 engineers, it did the following genuinely quite wonderful and spectacular thing. I'm quoting from the NAO report. The MOD originally used the assumption, based on advice from the joint support, like the Global Support Program, of 12 engineers per aircraft. However, this did not take into account for engineers being unavailable because of other requirements, such as annual leave, sick days, mandatory training, or guard duties.
You fools! You confused net and gross, you buffoons.
Yes, they did.
We forgot to recognise that engineers, sad to say, are also human.
Yes. We are pleased to report their flesh disgusts them. However, on the downside is... So roughly, currently, the engineering...
Could you imagine being a servant of the machine guard and having to get your mechadendrites serviced, but like there's just a 20% shortfall in mechadendrites because of all the fucking, backlogs, and like Mars is so far away, and like, all this stuff.
The joint machine guard support program is just not functioning the way it ought to. So roughly the engineering shortage for at least the Air Force is we're like 20% short of guys. And the problem is these are incredibly complicated machines. So it takes about 3 to 4 years to train one person to become an F-35 mechanic because it is so complicated. And by the time they're that well trained,
they can probably train several at a time. Being fair,
true, yeah. But the problem is also by the time they're that well trained in highly specific mechanics, specialized mechanics, they can take those skills anywhere else and earn a shit ton of more money because the army pays is very, very bad.
Whoops.
And apparently, the Air Force only has 5 instructors in comparison to the 16 they wanted to have by now, and that's partially because there's not enough planes to train on. So, who trains the trainers if the trainers get into the fucking airplanes?
I mean, the closer you look at defense industry provisioning, it just becomes this huge labyrinthine, just a cascade of fuck up upon just genuine incompetence or malice. Who fucking knows? But Jesus Christ.
Has the Ministry of Defence considered just getting these cunts a Wathundle subscription?
And look, what might not have helped any of this essentially is that the F-35's main operating base is RAF Markham, which when I think a year or two ago they did a review of all MOD housing, which is notoriously shit to begin with. RAF Markham was noted as the lowest quality housing of all MOD housing, which delightfully includes such things as the occasional lack of hot water and also no bus service to the nearest town. So you're just sitting there.
My God,
Good for that nearest town, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably better for it. Have you ever been to the centre of Colchester on a Saturday night?
Well, I mean, you say this, David, but, this is the British government we're talking about. So what has naturally happened, at least, according to the NAO report, quote, this situation has required the use of hotels across all racks.
Oh, incredible. Man. Oh.
And apparently,
we just cannot do... As a state, Britain just cannot do anything, can it? We have just so debilitated ourselves as an actual sovereign nation to just do the things that that every government we've ever fucking had has actually wanted to do, which is an idiot athwart the globe with a massive navy and aircraft carriers and all the rest of it. But we just do not want to do any of this stuff at a level that is anything approaching acceptable or on its own terms. It's fascinating.
There is something deeply incredible about migrants should be forced to live in fucking dilapidated army camps. Soldiers, however, no, they can't live in army camps. That would be fucking silly. Keep them in hotels, that's fine.
I mean, it's the same sort of thing as like what we were talking about earlier with the, with like the Ajax, but I think even like with the court system is like the British state and like certainly like British government ministers are fucking in love with like, big projects and mega things, right? The fucking nuclear reactors or the fucking, the thing that sucks off carbon and like puts it on the ocean bed, which it will never do. And like, not saying that was bad, but like HS2 for a long while. But like all we have is this weird desire to put like a shit ton of money up front into like a giant gleaming object. Or the fucking Millennium Dome, But like when anybody asks like, right, so you've put a shit ton of money in, have we thought about, trading some guys or paying, fucking barristers properly so like public barristers, everybody can have like good legal representation? Have we thought about how you're going to staff the courts, how, soldiers are going to feel when they get into the Ajax? Then it's like, oh no, that's too expensive and call me later and do those repairs next year and I don't really care and, there's some other big gleaming metal penis for me to chase after today.
Yeah. You do know the saying though, if you build it, they will come and that's their problem.
Yes. So apparently there is an operation underway to like upgrade all military housing, but in total that will take 15 years. So, just 3 terms of a Starmer government. Don't worry about it. I'm sure that will happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a nation that loves to just train up an entire like cadre of people to do a specific job, do that job and only that job, and then immediately dissolve them, is going to go about building more military housing in the most arse-forwards way that can possibly be done. So, like, I'm sure it will only take the 15 years that you've mentioned there, and not way longer than that.
Well, I mean, the NAO put it in the following cheerful phrasing: it will not complete these plans for many years.
In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is only travel lodge accommodation.
Fantastically though, like that's the RAF, like that's just the ground stuff for like the planes that stay in the UK. The naval squadron housing still hasn't been built at all because it was delayed to save £56 million back in 2020, and now because of it's 5 years later and the energy, material and construction costs have all gone through the roof, means that none of their housing will be ready until 2029 and cost £154 million instead of 56. Despite along the way,
can't believe that woke did this.
They did, and not only did they do this, they also lowered the requirements. So like they made the housing shittier on purpose, and still it won't be ready for another 5 years and cost 3 times as much.
We can't even build slums.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're downgrading your shanty village of soldiers to cardboard boxes due to budget cuts.
This being like, look, we've got the big IKEA order in, and like your house is ready, and you run up all excited, and it's just the empty boxes.
Oops, all Kallax.
And that would be so much of a problem because like the Navy squadron should be at sea for most of the time, but the problem with the F-35 Navy squadrons is that RAF sees those as a massively unattractive post because you're just at sea forever and you don't get to see your friends and family. If you're curious, by the way, the current carrier deployment, which is called Operation High Mast, is scheduled to go on for 8 months in total.
Jesus. So 8 months at sea, not flying.
I mean, maybe
basically.
they like fly people in and out and like cycle pilots, and it's a couple months on, a couple months off. It's entirely possible, but like still,
Yeah, no wonder people consider it unattractive.
I'm just going to read you one more thing in full as like a last bit, because there was a lot of it about like how the financing of this works, and like it's interesting, but like it's not interesting podcast material. So like I'm just going to read you the following. It's a bit of a long quote, so bear with me. This is from the NAO report. In 2013, the MOD set out a whole life cost for the F-35 of £18.4 billion. Although this only covered the first 48 aircraft out of the 138 the UK announced it had intended to buy. Before the publication of the NAO report in 2025, this figure had only increased to 18.7 billion because of inflation and energy costs and all that, and had not taken into account the changed out of service date from 2048 to 2069. So at first we thought we'd fly this thing for 20 years, and then we said, no, what if we actually did it for 40? The department has since published a whole life cost for the 138 aircraft out to 2069 for 57 billion. So a mere tripling of the original, estimated costs. In correspondence provided after our evidence session, the MOD stated that this figure was based on the A variant of the final 63 aircraft, which is cheaper than the B variant, and that it does. However, these sums, so the 57 billion, this is so good, I fucking love it, does not include related costs such as personnel, infrastructure, or fuel.
So, like, the fucking 15, 20 odd people you need for each of these planes. Yeah, just discount those.
Yeah, and you need 12 engineers per aircraft, but, like, fuck that shit.
Yeah, the fucking gobs of fuel these things go through, like, to fly for, like, 30 seconds. Like... Oh, dear.
The National Audit Office calculated that had these related costs been included, the whole life cost would now be 71 billion. So, an almost quadrupling of the initial estimate from 2013. So, well done, everyone. It's barely combat ready. It doesn't have one of its absolute mainstays. There's not enough guys in any function, and it constantly keeps blue screening because the updates aren't ready.
Maybe they when they ordered all these planes, they just lost the little mini disc that came with the first one. So now they've got to rely on the Americans.
Yeah, you didn't fill in, like the warranty card. So yeah, that's your military update for the week, everybody. It's going great.
Good God. Right. Should we round this episode off then with Jamie, much like a dog, has left us a little present, and it is shit. Comment or commentary.
Alright, come on then.
For a man who chides populist opposition politicians for offering easy answers, the Prime Minister doesn't half rely on some himself. It seems to be different when he does it though. Not to play the hotshot economist, but anyone can reduce energy bills if they raise the sums people are required to pay in tax. Comment or commentary.
Oh, this is amateur economist hours. This is probably commentariat.
Yeah, I feel like commentariat as well.
That was Marina Hyde in The Guardian.
Yes.
Oh, fuck off.
Reeves and Starmer are a 2-for-1 deal. If she goes, he goes. What a cheering thought. Are you not happy with your purchase?
Yeah, were you not like one of the people who was super happy about all this, Marina? Did we, did we all imagine that for a little bit?
No, we didn't. Right, next up. Might as well toss a coin as be tried by jury. Ask any detective. Comment or commentary.
Oh, fuck's sake. Comment.
That was a comment in the BBC News.
Fuck off. Just like... no, I rest my case. Just fuck off.
Well, we'll have to flip the coin then.
I do not agree with Diane Abbott's politics.
Oh, this could be anyone.
But she always speaks her mind and sticks to her beliefs. I can deal with the Diane Abbott of politics. At least she is honest. Comment or commentariat.
That last sentence has really thrown a spanner in the works.
Yeah. This has got to be someone like fucking depraved. Commentariat.
I'm going to say comment.
That was a comment in the Express.
Fucking hell. It's so bizarre. Like I'd love to study these people's brains. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is going on in there?
Rubbish. Kids are not in poverty if the parents learn how to cook. For example, a packet of pasta
we're doing
and
the
some pasta sauce
again.
Costs just over £2. This will give a child about 4 or 5 meals. Comment or commentary.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. For fuck's sake. This is just the same shit again. This is like, you know what people should do if they're hungry? They should go scrumping for apples. I used to go scrumping for apples because I grew up in a fucking Enid Blyton novel. Fuck off.
Is this Jamie Oliver's latest cookbook?
This is probably commentariat, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go commentariat as well.
Comment. The Mirror. 9 big takeaways from Keir Starmer's speech.
I didn't know he ordered that many.
Last one.
That's just Alistair, that's just to lure more Deliveroo drivers.
Yeah.
It is, as far as I understand it, a TikTok meme, Your Honour. From a song by Skrilla about a basketball player who is 6'7" tall. It has come to mean, I don't know, as in 6, 7, whatever, accompanied by a juggling hand gesture that even the Prime Minister recognised. Starmer was literally down with the kids, sitting at a low table, at ease with the silliness. Comment or commentariat?
Commentariat. This is the shit that only the commentariat cares about.
Okay. Commentariat. John Rentoul in The Independent.
Fucking John Rentoul! Writing about 6'7". Am I... Jamie, why have you done this?
Keir Starmer's schoolboy 6'7" gag shows he does have a human side after all.
John Rentoul is writing about the fucking 6'7" thing. I'm going to kill myself and all of you. In that order.
Yeah. And on that cheery note, listeners, lock your doors.
Yeah, you've been warned.
Okay, actually, let's quickly do a little set of announcements, I guess. So, it's December. It is the time for us to get the Christmas schedule and stuff sorted. So we are going to be very, very busy over the next couple of weeks. However, we have plans. So, if you are a Patreon subscriber, well done. If you're not, please do. Patreon.com/PaxCast. It will get you not just 2, but 3 bonus episodes this month, one of them being a Q&A, and if you sign up in a hurry, you will be able to join the Discord, and I'll see the posting, which I've definitely already done, to say how you can submit those questions. So, that will be a Patreon-only episode, so please sign up if you want that, plus the other 2 that you already get. Also, we are planning some streams. One of them in particular, we are finally going to do the vaunted all 4 of us play a video game stream, which somehow we have not yet managed to fucking arrange over however many years of having a fucking Twitch account. More details on that soon. Also, seeing as it's the season of giving, etc., we will also unlock a couple of previously locked episodes. I say a couple, don't quote me on a couple. I don't know how many it's going to be yet, but there'll be at least one. So look forward to that too. And more to come on that front. Also, there's new t-shirts available. Practicecast.tmail.com.
Get the new t-shirts. They are fucking
t-shirts
cool.
and hoodies.
Yes, t-shirts and hoodies. Get yourself a capybara or badger flavoured piece of merchandise. They are good.
Yeah, they are awesome. And go for it. Like, just order some.
Jamie's wonderful partner, Dawn.
Yeah, and your parents won't give you what you want anyway, so just buy it for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only we love you. Your family doesn't.
And we've adjusted the prices slightly so that we actually make money off of this shit now. Rather than getting paid like 20p. So, sorry about the price increase.
It was genuinely less than that. Yeah, we slightly bumped up the price of hoodies because we were making 16 pence per hoodie. So, if you're buying it, it's an extra couple of quid, sure, but at least we actually fucking get most of that extra couple of quid. So, yeah. Anyway,
but you are allowed to shake your heads and say, damn, capitalism, while you press the order button.
Yes, you can only do that while you submit your order. That's true.
Yes, that's the deal.
Anyway, that'll do us. We'll see you soon. More episodes to come. See you on the Discord to become a Patreon member, and bye.
Bye. Not if, when. Sign up, you cowards. Bye.